I mean, I can't be paying $1,200 a month for oil. I might as well get a wood stove then and start cutting my own wood and heat my house, which is basically what I've been forced to do.
I gotta get some gloves. Good morning. It is a very frosty late October morning. I'm just out doing a couple chores, feeding the sheep, feeding the pigs, and trying not to bother any very fat blue jays that are eating all of the chicken feed that we have. We put away our bird feeders because of bird flu last year, but these blue jays are very aggressive and they're getting their feed. I'm gonna go inside and make some pancakes and get ready for the day. Buddy down here, she's really tired. We are just doing a few jobs around the yard. I use the word we very loosely. Dominic was turning compost earlier and he took the tractor to just clear out a little bit of land, see how it was working down by where we're putting the wood, and now we're gonna go and collect some apples. And by we, I think I actually mean we this time, unless I'm just the cameraman, so we'll see.
Okay, you wanna have a race? Jeannie and Mommy against Daddy.
Okay, so Jeannie is extremely tired and we're going into New Waterford for a Halloween party this evening, so I think that we're gonna cut this day a little bit short and then we'll pick you back up tomorrow with whatever we get onto in the chores tomorrow. Okay, see you then, bye-bye. Alright, it is the next day. It's Sunday evening. Hi, sheeps. And we're gonna have a look around and talk about the wood that we have for winter because we got that new wood stove installed. And yeah, talk about like how much wood do we need, how much do we have. And we haven't heated the house for the winter yet, so like how much wood do we get?
With wood. With heated
Yeah,
with oil.
oh yeah. No, we're just really cold.
All you need for that is a dump truck full of money. For the wood, so I was putting wood because I thought I was going to do a roadside stand, but then I started thinking more and more of how I should probably I get a wood stove myself because we have so many trees here. They agree. So I kept the wood for myself, and I have it stashed around in a few different places. And I don't know if we have enough to get us through the first full winter. I'm estimating we got close to 4 cords right now, but a good bit of that is softwood, so that doesn't, you know, that's not as good as having hardwood, obviously. But it's great for now, like October. It'll be good for November. 1 or 2 armloads of wood, honestly, it'll heat the house for hours and hours and hours. So the softwood is great for that. It burns real hot, but then you know, you can just let it go out and it's easy to start again. It's not like it's a big chore to start the fire or anything. It's all super dry, so that's pretty good. So I guess we'll go through our inventory and yeah.
Let's go.
So one method of stacking the wood was to lay down 2 pallets on the bottom, pallet on each side, and then just some cross bracing to make sure the pallets don't fall out. And then recycle this roofing material, which I took off the pig shelter from last year.
Let's go a little.
And just screw it on to the pallets, so it's super sturdy. And this one here is full of hardwood. You might notice, so because it was our first year with wood, and these were cut a while ago. However, they're only split this spring or summer. So I split them pretty small for the most part because I needed them to dry out for this year. Normally, I guess you'd probably want to wait an extra year. I think the rule of thumb is if you have your wood up by Easter, you can burn it that year, as long as it's not oak. But I just didn't have that time, so. So this little thing here is called a moisture meter. It basically, you poke these 2 little things into a piece of wood and it'll tell you the moisture content. For inside wood burning, you want it to be 20% or less. So I would hope by this point this stuff is all less than that. Another thing you can check for is if you're starting to see cracks and stuff in the wood, which I'm just starting to get here on this batch of wood. That's a good sign that it's drying out. That's called checking. But I don't see a whole lot of it here, but still I think we're at a good moisture level. So I'll just take a small piece here on the top. Really get it in there. And so it's, you know, a little bit less than 20. It's still, this is stuff that I'm hoping to save until at least December, hopefully January. Just burn softwood in the meantime. Now if I split it, it'd probably be a little percentage or 2 higher. But that's still great for us. This front face cord here is all maple, and there's another stack in the back that's all birch. Yeah, so that's one method by which we packed up our wood. This section here I split up probably August maybe. So doubtful I'll be able to burn it this year. However, I split most of it pretty small. There's a few big pieces in there. This was a lot of gnarly stuff. This was I had to cut down part of the apple tree. There's maple in here, there's birch in here. This is a mix of lots of stuff that I think is called pin cherry. All kinds of stuff through here. I don't know if it's going to be ready to burn or not. But, you know, if I'm frozen it in February, guess what? I'm probably going to burn it, so. Let's look at the bin. So this way of stacking is just 3 cinder blocks along the bottom. You put in some 2x4 vertically down through the top of the cinder block, and some other 2x4s running lengthways. And it's a really cheap, easy way to set up a good firewood rack. Very easy to set up. You can put it anywhere. You can take it apart easy. You don't have to screw anything together. And everything's just basically the more wood you put in, the more it pushes on the side pieces, and then they hold themselves in there. So it's bar tight now. The only thing I would say is don't use a cinder block that you used with a rocket stove, because I think that does affect the structural integrity. As you can see, this cinder block here did break, so it's leaning a bit more this way, but it's been like that since August when I piled it there, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Hopefully not anyway. But let's check a piece. I just put a tarp over the top for the real rainy days. This was out during the hurricane, so the tarp didn't even blow off it. So I just put like old, really punky pieces of spruce on top to weigh it down, and some rocks, and that seems to do the trick. All right, Jenny, you pick a piece just so it can be random. Oh, why'd you pick that piece? All right, it's hard to push it in now because I don't want to push too hard. A lot of hurricane didn't knock it down to
So what are you looking for here? Less than 20%?
Well, that can't be. There must be something wrong. Is it possible that it's that dry? Let's put it on.
Burning it.
Let's put it on ash mode. Yeah, that's hard to believe. So wood is always drier on the outside and drier on the ends because that's where the wood dries out from. Let's try right here. So maybe I'm not getting the pins in far enough because it's so hard. Alright, so it's getting up to around 20. I'm sure it's wetter than that. If I split it open, it'll be wetter than that. But maybe it's less than 30, so if we can get it close to 20 for January, that'd be perfect. So October's over. We'll get some drying weather in November, but once the temperature gets freezing and the wood inside, the water inside the wood freezes, it stops drying then. So you're not going to get any drier than it will be by, say, December or so. Here's my preferred system for stacking wood. Is an IBC tote that you cut the front off of. Very easy to load it up, and it'll be easy to unload. And if I had pallet forks, I could lift it around anywhere I wanted to, right? So I think this is the ultimate stacking way to do it. But definitely the most expensive, because around here you rarely see these go for less than 100 bucks. 150 is more like it. So it's really not cost effective. Like, you could buy a cord of wood almost for that. So this stuff I'm very confident that it's seasoned. You can see how gray it is. So gray means it's been, you know, sun weathered and stuff. So it should be very, very dry. It's got some good cracking, or checking as they call it. So let's try out a piece, and hopefully I'm not a liar. Hopefully it's actually really dry. 15 there. There's pieces on top that I kind of stacked on later that were out of a pile. I had a pile of this stuff. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. So the stuff that I thought would be okay eventually, I threw on top of this pile. I used to have a plastic thing over the top, but it doesn't fit anymore. So yeah, that's the other way we do it, is with those. Last method. Okay, so the last stacking method that I used was, I didn't have a lot of pallets at this time, so I put a pallet down to keep it off the ground. You definitely want to keep your wood off the ground. And then on the corners, I stacked crisscross, so I stacked wood this way and then that way, kind of like a Jenga tower. And then in the spaces, I just piled up wood. You can do this with a really long row too. If you have 3 or 4 pallets to put on the ground, you can put these as your end pieces and then stack up wood normally in between, and these hold in the wood on the sides. So I tried to tilt in the corner pieces on all the corners so that the weight would all be pushing towards the center and pushing on each other, so it won't fall over. This is not the best method for keeping it dry. I just got some greenhouse plastic over top to keep the majority of the rain off and the dew in the morning. And this is ash that I cut very late in August when I was helping Amanda do hers. And a good bit of it was dead already, so it was pretty dry. And this was my Hail Mary of trying to get some more hardwood before winter, because ash is the fastest. It has the lowest moisture content of any hardwood, I believe. Pretty much anyone around here anyway. And so it dries out a little bit faster. So we can check a piece of this, see how it's coming along. So you can see that this piece was dead already when I cut it down. Oh look, those aphids.
Oh my god! Look at that.
What are they doing in there? Oh, did they lay eggs in wood or something? They made a poor choice. Those eggs aren't going to see this spring. So we'll check another piece here. This is a dead piece. You can see it's starting to check real good already. Some good checking in there already. So ash, you need it on C mode. I don't know what kind of a difference the modes on this thing make, but it feels a bit heavy, so it might not be fully dry yet. But let's. 17 if I get it in a bit further. So this stuff is going to be ready. Like I said, I'm going to try to not touch any hardwood except for little junky bits and bobs I got around that I saved. So that's kind of the only hardwood I've been burning, is misfit PPs that are that long, or that I didn't want to put in a regular pile anyway. I kind of got the last bin over there. It's kind of messy. I don't know if you want a shot of that. The last bin over there is kind of reject pieces, or pieces that were from cleanup jobs or whatever that I didn't split. So that's our wood setup. It's So we've got this pile, which is not very much, probably, what was that, 2 feet by 3 by 4, so it's 24 cubic feet, which is about 1/5 of a cord. So we got another stack like that of softwood over there. Same thing. Then we got the big bins, so the bins that fit 2 face cords. So I've got 3 of those currently full. So that's 3 times 2/3 is 2. Right, we're doing math live. So that's 2 cords there, 1/5 of a cord here. Each of those IBC totes holds about 1/3 of a cord, almost. So let's say that's 3 cords. Then I got the big stack where the apple and stuff is. That's over a face cord because it's a really tall stack and it's 10 feet long. And I got this little box here that's full of softwood as well. So overall, I'd say we're pushing close to 4 cords. I'm going to fill up another one of these bins with softwood that dries really fast, especially their fir. So I'm not going to burn anything that's wet because it's really bad for your chimney, obviously. It gets full of creosote and stuff and it can catch fire. That's how you get chimney fires, is from burning unseasoned wood. So are we going to be able to heat like exclusively on oil? No, because when we're both at work, we got to let the oil furnace kick in.
Exclusively on wood.
Yeah, exclusively on wood, sorry. No, but I mean, we were paying, last year we were paying $600 a month in oil. Mm-hmm. So the price of oil has gone up, what, 70 or 80% since then, at least. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I can't be paying $1,200 a month for oil. I might as well get a wood stove then and start cutting my own wood and heat my house, which is basically what I've been forced to do. So anyway, I think it'll be a good dent in the old bills this winter, hopefully. And with Nova Scotia's rebate program, we'll get $500 back off the price of the stove, so that's okay. And yeah, it's I will say we were paying $600 a month last year for oil, and that's with full dad mode on, as in do not turn up the heat. Why is the heat on? If we left the house and I came back and the heat was on, that was a real tragedy. You know, getting out of the bathtub cold, or getting out of the shower and being cold because I don't have the heat up, like, it wasn't a comfortable existence, even with $600 a month in oil. So even just the few fires we've had so far this year, it's opulent, completely opulent. You know, Jenny's going around sneaking windows open and stuff even to try to get a bit of heat out of the house. So kids get out of the bathtub, they're warm as anything. It's you know, I'm closing my bedroom door to keep the heat out so it's not too warm when I go to bed. So it's night and day difference. So I think it's going to work out great.
Okay, so that is a little rundown of the wood that we have and how we're managing it and how we're preparing for the winter with the wood stove. So that is it for today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!